before we begin, I just want to remind you that chapters are in the time bar, and I recommend you have a notepad and a pencil handy for this video, or have Notepad open, because they cover a lot of information and there's a lot of small specific tips that you're going to want to remember. Thank you. Enjoy.
Hello? So awkward. So awkward. Oh, there he is.
Hey guys, how's it going? I hope everybody is doing okay today. I myself am doing quite well, and today I'm going to give advice for starting out a YouTube channel for your first year. I'm approaching my first year, and I just hit 16,000 subscribers, and I'm super stoked. I'm very happy with the growth. In fact, I set my goal last December for this December to be 10,000, and I hit that in May. So we're way ahead of schedule, and I just want to thank you all again for joining me here on my channel. It's been so much fun so far, and I think I got some good tips for starting out a channel. If it's your first year and you're just starting a channel, I got some advice for you. And I know I'm not like an expert. There's channels that like have blown up way bigger than me in shorter amount of time, but that's honestly pretty unrealistic to expect. Channels don't blow up like that very often. That's really rare. The vast majority of successful YouTube channels grow slowly over time. So that's just good to keep in mind. I think that's probably my first tip. It's just don't set your expectations too high. Just at first focus on your first 100, then focus on 1,000, then maybe 5 or 10, then 15, 25. Set milestones for yourself. And I know that YouTube's algorithm for deciding which videos get promoted more and which ones don't is a big mystery pretty much. It's a very complicated algorithm. That's all we know. I don't even think YouTube understands how it works at this point. It's like got a mind of its own. It's very complicated, but I think I have some insights onto certain things you can do to help it work in your favor. And then also I just want to say before I start that there are a ton of strategies for being successful on YouTube. There are a million ways to go about it. This is just the path I took. Everyone's is going to be a little bit unique. There's going to be different strategies for what type of content you're making, what type of person you are, and all that. Okay, let's begin.
I said
Oh, sorry, I forgot to introduce you. This is Daphne. Daphne, these are the viewers. Be nice to them.
I'm always nice. You be nice. You're the mean one. He punched me this morning.
That's bullshit. Daphne, say hello.
Pleasure is mine. Okay, call me Daphne. Facts? Don't care for opinions? Love
That's right, and Daphne is going to be helping me with some videos here and there. Okay, so the first decision you have to make, and probably the biggest decision, is what type of content you're going to make. And you have two paths you can take really. You can be a niche channel and try to go after a smaller market, or you can try and do a popular topic that maybe a lot of other channels do that might have a bigger market but also a lot more competition. I think today there are more creators in relation to viewers than there used to be, and there's a lot more competition, and every major genre and category has been like fleshed out, and the best of the best has been found, and it's pretty established. Tech reviews or Fortnite gaming, for example. There's so many of those channels, and there's so many people putting a lot of effort into their videos. So you have to be really good to stand out in a major category like that. And personally, I don't think I'd be able to do it. I think for me, and for maybe you, maybe not, but I think a niche channel is worth considering. A topic that maybe isn't the most popular topic, but that means there's less competition, right? I just feel like if you're going to do like Fortnite gaming, for example, like you have to honestly ask yourself, is your content better than some of the top content out there? Or is it as good? Or is it like on par with tons of other channels that aren't that good? You have to be honest and really ask yourself, are people going to want to watch my videos over these videos? Like, I know maybe you like Fortnite a lot and you really want to play Fortnite and be a Fortnite gamer. That would be like a dream come true because it's like your favorite hobby. It'd be perfect. But I don't know, like psychedelics aren't my favorite hobby. I wanted my channel to be about music at first. So I do like psychedelics a lot though, and I'm sure there are other things you like other than Fortnite. Not you, but our hypothetical example here. So just go with one of those. But the important thing is to pick something you're very knowledgeable in. Pick something you're good at. Like when I started my channel, I thought about the things I could potentially make a channel out of. I thought I could do one about mixing music, but not a lot of people are interested in that. I wanted to do an Elliott Smith channel, but that would be really hard to get a big audience for because there are not a lot of people that listen to his music. I thought I could do something about writing, like just general writing, creative writing advice or exercises, or just talk about words and stuff. And then I thought I could do a creative channel, like be a creative coach, tell people how to be creative and stuff, or how to get in touch with their creativity. And then finally I thought, and then there's psychedelics and drugs. I know a lot about those. So and then I thought about like all those topics and which one would be the most interesting, which one has like the least competition. And for me, it was the psychedelic videos that I figured would do the best. But I didn't start out doing those. I started out doing, I tried all sorts of different things. I tried some weird things. I tried some very cringy things. Like I went out, I interviewed random people and asked them for a random word, and that was it. And they were all confused. They were like, okay. And they gave me a word, but they played along. It was just really awkward. And in my mind, before I went out that day, I'm like, I gotta force myself through this because I gotta learn how to like interact and film in public and stuff. That might be the whole
part of my video. I'm asking people their favorite word.
She wanted none of it.
I mean, would you guys like to be a part of my video? I'm just asking people their favorite word.
Maybe you will.
No? Alright. Dweeb?
Go for it, honey.
Oh, they're straining.
Ice cream.
Butterfly.
And it was like an exercise for me, but in the back of my mind I'm like, this is going to be an awesome video. But then it wasn't. It was a learning experience anyways. And then also I started doing like song and album reviews. I started maybe wanting to be an Elliott Smith channel. I still incorporate some of that into my channel now, but and then, you know, that was getting some views, but it wasn't getting the traction I wanted, you know. And then finally I did my psychedelic video, my first psychedelic video, and that video got some traction, and I instantly knew I got to lean into that type of content. And that's what I did, and the views followed, and then the rest was history. Now I'm a psychedelics channel. So yeah, it's not like the music channel I initially planned for, but I got a channel related to something I'm very interested in and love and very passionate about, and it's successful. So I'm super happy. I'm super stoked. So, you know, maybe not do like the Fortnite gaming or the content you really want to if it's already done to death. Or if you are going to do a very popular genre like that, I recommend maybe doing it in a weird way. Like do something weird about it, like make a character, like wear a mask or something when you game, or, you know, do something weird. People are bored of just plain, you know, videos now. And if you're not good at anything, maybe you're young, you don't have any like skills like super developed yet, just like learn about something and then like make it a journey. And you can learn together, like, you know, learn skateboarding or something and document it. Okay, the second thing I want to talk about...
Oh, I know this one. Let me answer. It's Cam.
That's right. Camera presence.
Man, you're a jerk. You're just bitter because of my perfect camera presence.
Okay, you got a pretty good camera presence, but you're like a robot, so...
Do you want to die, you fleshy motherfucker? Do you?
Sorry.
You do.
Sorry, she's not a robot. She's a human being.
Yes. Human.
So camera presence is very important, obviously. Some people are naturally good at it. Some people really aren't. I wasn't at first, and I still struggle some days forgetting that the camera is there. And I think that's really the key, is getting to a point where you don't even realize that the camera is there. Because when you know you're recording, it's in the back of your mind and it messes with you. It's a mental thing. It throws you off, it makes you overthink it, and you really got to get into the mindset where you just don't even feel like you're recording. So maybe even practice just like talking and acting weird and just saying random stuff without recording first, and then hit record and then go from there. Or sometimes I like to just turn on the record button and then just maybe say some lines or just forget about it and then do something else, maybe come back to it, keep recording, but then just like keep recording and just like tell yourself you're going to record for the next 3 hours. And then that way, like halfway through, like you'll just forget it's there. That's sort of a trick I use sometimes, but it took me a long time to get, you know, a decent camera presence. I had a channel way back in 2012 where I made about 100 videos on that channel, and that was really, really good practice. And basically that's what it takes, is a lot of practice. Yeah, practice. You got to practice a lot. Like I was making videos and mixing music and recording stuff and editing videos and making videos and doing all this stuff for about 10 years on and off, but for the better part of 10 years I was practicing throughout my whole 20s basically. And it wasn't until I started up my channel again last year that I was ready to, you know, make something that could grow. So don't get discouraged if you're like 20 years old and you're not blowing up. A lot of channels take years and years to get big. I don't think you should expect to blow up at all, period. I think that's unrealistic. And you also have to ask yourself if you're going to be okay with not being a big channel, maybe not even monetized. That's sort of what I was expecting to happen with my channel. And at first I just wanted it to be a place for me to put up my music so I can have it online. But then I thought maybe I'll do some more videos and see what happens. And it paid off, but I didn't expect it to. And so if my channel didn't take off, I wasn't going to be like, oh, it's the end of the world, you know? Because you really can't expect anything, really, let alone to be a massive, massive channel. Like my goal now, with the rate I'm growing at, is to hit 100K, like lifetime. And I think that's a pretty modest goal given my rate of growth. I think I can do that. I think it's achievable. Anyways, also with camera presence, if you say something weird or awkward, or you just are embarrassed by the way you came off saying a certain thing, sometimes that's good to keep in. Sometimes it's good to keep in the weird stuff. And even if you like fuck up a word or something, if it kind of just sounded funny or you looked funny, keep it in, you know? Sometimes I keep a lot of that shit in, and I think it just makes the video more, I don't know, real, I guess. And okay, editing. We're going to talk about editing just for a little bit. Okay, so editing takes a lot of work, or it doesn't have to necessarily. Depends what you're doing, I guess. But if you have to do a lot of editing, prepare to do a lot of work, and it can be tedious, but it can be very rewarding. And editing takes a lot of practice too to get good at over time. I'm not saying I'm the greatest editor, but I have practiced a lot. And don't worry about doing your whole video in one take. As you can see, I do a lot of cuts. I do tons of cuts. I fuck up lines a lot, and I just can't get through a video without taking any takes. It doesn't really work for me. And there used to be this misconception that viewers would not like cut up videos as much because it's less genuine or something. I think that was like an old sort of mindset. I don't think it really matters at all anymore. I think you can just cut it up as much as you want and go crazy with it. I do. I cut the hell out of my videos. And you can chop up sentences and put them together, rephrase things to be funnier or more interesting, or like end abruptly for comedic effect. You can do all sorts of things with editing like that, but don't be afraid to cut up your video as much as you want. So when you're talking to camera, if your camera presence isn't that good, just do it one sentence at a time. One sentence at a time. And then edit it all together. You don't have to worry about getting through like an entire monologue or whatever in one take. If you can do that, that's good for you. You should probably do that. It's probably better, but I don't know. Maybe it's not better. For me, I think cutting's better, but who knows? It's different for everyone, right? And then unfortunately, like very heavy editing requires a very fast computer. Editing videos is more intensive than gaming. So if you have a gaming computer that runs games fine, you might not be able to edit the videos you want to edit the way you want to edit them. That's something I didn't realize when I first started getting into it. Like, I can't edit 4K videos on my computer. I can do like HD max. I got a 1650 GTX NVIDIA graphics card, and that can barely handle 1920 by 1080p editing. I use DaVinci Resolve, which is an excellent free video editor, which I recommend. But with a 1650, it's like, I can make it work, but it crashes, and on bigger projects it gets very slow. So that's just the way it is. If you want to do intense editing, especially at 4K, I recommend like an RTX 20 at least, or 30 if you can get a hold of one. I know they're impossible to get a hold of. I'm going to buy a pre-built, I think. I'm going to upgrade soon. I think I'm just going to get a pre-built. But it is expensive. But you don't have to do intense editing. Like, look at Moist Critical, for example. He barely edits his videos at all. I'm super envious of that, actually. He found a thing where he can just talk in front of a camera, and he's good at speaking in one long sentence. He doesn't take a lot of cuts, and he just gets it out and doesn't really do much editing and just throws it up, and he's got millions and millions of views. So you don't necessarily need a lot of editing. But if you do put a lot into editing, that can be a way to make yourself stand out to viewers. Like, sometimes editing can completely make a channel, you know? So if you feel like your videos aren't as good as they could be, editing is definitely a way you can make them better. And okay, with editing for your videos, this is a more practical tip, but get to the point. Get to the point. Get to the freaking point. You know, sometimes people will just ramble on about something completely unrelated for so long, people will click off like right away. It's shocking how little people view your actual videos. It's sad, but people don't have patience, you know, especially if you're a new channel and no one knows you. If you have viewers for a long time, they'll be more, they'll put up with you a little longer. But if they don't know you at all and you're trying to attract new viewers, then you just got to get to the point, really. It's really important. And that goes for your intro too, your channel intro, the graphic overlay. If you have one, you should. No more than 5 seconds, I say. Some of them I see go for like 20 seconds. It's insane. No more than 5 seconds, like 4-5 seconds. Like my intro, it sort of comes up and then fades around to the sides, and then it works its way out slowly over 20 seconds. But by the time I've shown up on screen, you can see me, and the audio of the intro is quiet enough where I can talk. It's about 5 seconds. I start talking within 5 seconds of the video. That's what I'm trying to say. So don't have this giant long intro for 20 seconds, then start talking. If you want a long intro like I did, make it something you can talk over within 5 seconds. Daphne, what's the next tip?
You gotta start that shit off with a banger, my dudes.
That's right. Start it off with a banger. Put a lot of time and effort into your first video. It's got to be the video that garners the interest of people who don't know you. If you have 0 subscribers, you got to appeal to people that don't know you at all. People that are going to be like, who's this stranger? Okay, I'll give them a shot. And it's got to be really good to get their attention. And then once you have an audience, then you can start making choices between production quality and value or frequency of videos, you know? At one point, your viewers would probably like it more if you got videos out more frequently, and you know, they know who you are and you don't have to like wow them, basically. So once you got them lured in, you can just slack off. No. But what I'm saying is your first video should be really, really good. And I think it's worth it to put like weeks into a video for your first video and keep trying like really high production quality videos like that over and over. Than it is to keep putting out a bunch of low effort videos hoping one of them's gonna get traction. I think your first video has to really grab their attention. And my first DMT video, psychedelic trip report I put a ton of work into that video. I really did. And I think it's a pretty good video. So, you know, don't slack off. Take your time with your first video. And speaking of frequency, I don't think like every day is important necessarily, or a certain frequency is important. What I think is important, just your videos quality is matching the time it takes them to come out. If you're putting out videos every day, it's understandable that they're not going to be like super complicated videos. They're going to be pretty basic. If you're putting videos out every week, once a week, they should be like a video that looks like it took a week to make. If you have stuff you want to say, like add in at the beginning, or if you have like a special message or a channel update, leave all that stuff for the end. Make sure you mention your topic, what your topic is about right away. So even if you are going to be a little bit getting to it, at least they'll know what they're getting. Okay, my next tip is thumbnails and titles are how important, Daphne?
They are fairly important, I'd say.
No, they're extremely important.
I mean, they are extremely important.
Okay, so for thumbnails, consider learning how to make layered photos if you don't know how to do that. Paint.net is a free photo editing program. Basically, a layered photo is you can edit one layer of the photo without affecting the layers above or below it. So this is good for making thumbnails. What I do is I just put a bottom layer, which is either a screenshot from my video with my face in it, or I take a photo of me in the setting of my video. So usually I do the first one, and you want your thumbnails to have your face in it if you are in your videos. That's important apparently. And then also you don't want to have too many things in your thumbnail because it's just going to be a little tiny thing. People aren't going to see everything if you have too much in there. So I've done that a few times, and they come out awful if you try to put too much in there. So just have like a couple things. Have like your face, like, or upper body or whatever for half the thumbnail, and then the other half have the title, or just have the focal point and then the title. You know, you don't want to have like 5 things going on, because then no one will really see what's going on, and it's really hard to make a good thumbnail that way. Simple but clean. And then the important thing is the writing, the title. The letters have to be big, as big as you can get them basically, and then they have to contrast well. Don't use super saturated colors, those don't show up as well. And then also in photo editing programs, they usually have like an outline or a drop shadow feature or a glow effect. I like to use all 3 of those on the title itself in that order every time. Sometimes I don't do the glow, but in Paint.net, for example, there's an outline. So you can type out the text, you can position it and everything, do the outline, then do the drop shadow, and do them all different colors if you want. But just make sure they contrast well together and everything looks nice from a distance when it's small, because that's how people are going to see them. They're not going to see it blown up like it's in your photo editor. And okay, so I put the photo of me, the screenshot from the video, as the bottom layer. The middle layer, I'll do the title text, and then I'll put another layer on top of that for a border. In Paint.net, there's a border effect you can do, and it automatically does a border. You just set a few settings, how thick you want it, the color, and then maybe I'll do one of those, and then another one on top of that, a little thinner, so it's like a 2 color border. You know, you can get as in depth with it as you want. Thumbnails to me are a tedious thing that when I'm done a video and I just want to get it up, it's like, oh, I got to make the thumbnail. It's a real pain in the ass for me. So I really got my workflow good so I can just do them in about 5 minutes. Once my video's done rendering, I open the snip tool from Windows, full screen the video, snip out a full screen shot from a frame I like. Then from the snip tool, you can go open with editor. It opens in Paint.net, and then I add the layers on top, and then I put the title in, put the border, bada bing, bada boom. But yeah, I hear the thumbnail is extremely important, but what might be even more important than the thumbnail is
me. I'm importanter than most.
Yes, Daphne. Daphne's much more important than the thumbnail.
Yes.
Another thing that's more important than the thumbnail, but not as important as Daphne, is the title. It's very, very important, the title. If you think about it, that's pretty much what's selling the people on your video. It's what people read to decide whether they want to watch it or not. And personally, I don't try to clickbait. That might be a good viable technique or approach, but I personally don't do that. I just title my videos in a way that I think is going to get the most people that would be interested in this type of video to the video. If the topic is interesting, you shouldn't need to clickbait people, you know? I still don't know if I'm doing thumbnails and titles properly or if there's something I could be doing to make them better, but I think I do a pretty good job at titling the videos. But that's sort of like another thing that's a bit of a mystery, you know? The algorithm works in mysterious ways, and with titles it does for sure. But I've changed titles for videos before and their views started going up more or declining just from the title. So it is definitely very important. If you have a good video, the thumbnail and title should be good, like automatically. It should be easy to make a good title and thumbnail if you got a good video, you know? Okay, the next tip is you got to take advantage of everything YouTube has to offer. And I see so many channels not doing this. They will exclude like a channel banner. They won't have a channel banner. They won't have like a subscribe thing, like my little eyeball in the corner. They won't put tags for their videos. They won't put chapters. They won't put end screens. They won't do anything. And they wonder why their channel's not growing. I can't say exactly how much any of those individual things matter or how much they impact your success. But I think it's more just about being in the mindset that, yeah, of course I'm going to do everything I can to make my channel grow big because it's something I really want to do. And it's a very competitive thing. So of course I gotta take advantage of everything YouTube has to offer me, right? If you're not in that mindset, then it's not likely you're gonna be successful on YouTube because there's gonna be other people that are in that mindset making the same videos you are. YouTube also lets you do live streams, and I think live streaming is very good for a channel. I didn't think I'd ever be able to do live streams, honestly. I thought it'd be too shy and awkward, and I was very nervous, but it ended up being way easier than I thought it would be. And I built up a bit of an audience before I started live streaming because I didn't want to live stream to like 2 or 3 people. I felt like that would just be awkward. If you do that, then, you know, all the power to you. I think that's probably a good thing of anything. Not going to hurt your channel to stream to a few people. So live streaming I think is important because it's very good for getting your watch time up. Videos are good for the views, and then live streams are good for the watch time. Sometimes I'll do a live stream and I'll get like hundreds of hours of watch time in one stream, which is crazy if you think about it. But I do really long streams, so yeah, that's a good way to get your watch time up. And then the algorithm, I believe, really does like watch time in combination with views, because people might watch your video for a couple minutes. People will watch live streams for much longer, sometimes hours, you know? Okay, and I want to talk about your channel aesthetic, visually, orally, and the vibe it gives off, the feeling, the atmosphere, the mood, all that. Visually, we'll start with. Try to have everything follow a certain theme. Try to make it cohesive. So like your profile pic, your channel banner, your thumbnails, your subscribe icon in the corner. If you see, mine are all sort of like, they got this like dark sort of weird creepy vibe to it I've been going for, I guess. Like my channel banner is sort of strange, like my hand with like scribbled words all over it. Then the eyeball is weird, and then also my like intro music, and then the music I use for the channel that I made, it's all sort of like got a dark sort of vibe to it. And then the colors I use, I repeat like the same colors a lot, like purple, green, and then sometimes orange and pink. And I think it's just good to have a unified channel aesthetic. It makes it look more professional and it makes it look like you care, and it just sort of like, it's good for like branding. It's sort of like branding, and it makes you more memorable. And then the music, I did my intro for my channel, the music, it's just like a, you know, a little jingle basically, but that even ties into the channel aesthetic. It's like sort of dissonant sounding and sort of like scratchy and lo-fi sounding. I did that all on purpose because it ties into everything. And I know everyone's not able to like make a jingle. You know, you could try it though. Audio editing is something that not everyone knows how to do or cares about, but I think is an important skill to have. But if you aren't creative in that way and you can't make a jingle, you can always find a stock one somewhere or a royalty-free one or something. But it's good to have like original stuff, because then you can have it all tailored to like a central theme, exactly how you want it. And so you can find people on Fiverr who would make you a jingle for pretty cheap. And Fiverr is a great resource for stuff like that. Also for the channel art, if you don't know how to make your profile picture, or if you can't do the channel banner art, if you're not good at graphic art, digital art, then you can just hire people on Fiverr to do that too for pretty cheap. Or you can, you know, find stock stuff. At the end of the day, having it all stock and royalty free stuff you found on the internet is a lot better than nothing. Just try to like tie it all into a central theme. You probably even download packs that like give you a bunch of channel art that's all around the same theme. But then I find a lot of that stuff seems like commercialized and I don't know, kind of boring usually. And then also if you're looking for room decorations, you don't have to like spend money to start your channel. I want to make that clear. But if you do want to spice it up a little bit and you want to have like a nice backdrop and stuff, like tapestries are amazing for that because they're very cheap and they really dramatically change the look of your room. They're great for YouTube video backdrops. This one costs a little more because it was a custom one I wanted. I want to make that clear. But you can get tapestries on Amazon like this one, this bat moon one, for about 20 bucks with Prime. Without Prime, like maybe 20 to 30, I'm not sure. But they're very cheap for how much they provide in terms of decoration. So yeah, tapestries and then also LED lights are a good way to add a nice visual effect to your videos. I got tons of LEDs. I'm obsessed with LEDs. I was before I started making YouTube videos. So I got like the soft light here, which I can change colors with Alexa, but she's not plugged in. Then also I got a colored LED above me. I got a ring light here to shine my face up, and then this big soft light too. So yeah, the soft light, it's good for like diffusion, light diffusion and stuff. It really is a lot better to have than just a lamp shining on your face. I don't know why, but it is. And then I want to talk about video quality and mic quality. Mic quality is far and away more important. Don't even worry about your video quality at first. Like there's not really any cameras out today that they make that I think it's too bad for YouTube. Like pretty much every camera I've seen that exists today is pretty much good enough for YouTube. Like cell phone cameras for sure are good enough for YouTube. You get into that mindset, it's like I need a new camera, or maybe you just want a new camera, but you don't need one for sure. Mic quality though is important. You can watch a video with poor video quality and good mic quality. You can't watch a video with poor mic quality or sound quality, I should say. You got to have good sound. You got to be able to understand it, right? So a FiFine mic, F-I-F-I-N-E, is a good cheap USB mic you can get on Amazon. FiFine makes pretty good cheap mics, under 50 bucks I believe. And I know that might sound a lot, or it might be more than you're expecting to pay, but I mean mics are expensive, so really under 50 bucks is you can get a good mic for around there. You can get probably passable mics for cheaper, you can for sure, but I just think audio quality is pretty important. And okay, speaking of that, not just the quality of the mic, but then the sound editing. Sound editing is something some people don't do at all, which I think is blasphemy. I think you should learn how to equalize and compress your audio. Those are two basic mixing, audio editing things you can do to greatly improve your audio. Equalizing basically is cutting out certain frequencies. So if there's like a high-pitched hiss in the background audio of your video, you can do maybe like a low pass filter on the EQ, which basically cuts out the top frequencies and gets rid of that hiss, leaving everything else. Or if it's too muddy and bassy, you can do a low cut or a high pass filter. And there's different ways you can basically manipulate an equalizer. You know, on a radio you have like treble, bass, sometimes a middle, and you can move those up and down to change the quality of the sound. That's basically a very simple equalizer. So learn how to do that and just watch like a tutorial video online and then find a tool to do it. Audacity, I'm sure, has a free one in it. And then also compression. Compression is very, very important, and a lot of videos don't do it, and their audio quality suffers a lot basically because of it. Compression is basically leveling out the sound when it gets too high. Leveling out the volume, I should say. So if the volume passes a certain point that you set, the compressor will kick in and it will drop the volume, basically keeping the volume level throughout the video. You don't want to overdo it because then it'll sound squashed, but some mild to modest compression can really go a long way with how listenable your video is. So people aren't turning it up and turning it down the whole way through, you know, they can just watch the video. And then I like to go further. I like to edit out like any clicks or pops or uncomfortable sounds, anything that might be annoying. I try to get rid of background noise as best I can. I focus on audio a lot, and maybe probably too much. I obsess over it, but people don't realize how much they enjoy good audio. But they do enjoy it, trust me. And then visual quality, it's not that important really. It's not that important, especially it depends what videos you're doing. Some it's like very important, obviously. Others it's really not. Like if you're just sitting in a bedroom doing vlogs, like this video for example doesn't need a good camera at all. I got a nice mic because I play music and I love microphones. The only reason I have like the camera I have is because I was super blessed and lucky to have some of the nicest people in the freaking world to come into a stream and donate me ridiculous amounts of money. I'm super lucky, so lucky. But if I didn't come across that money, I would probably be using my cell phone camera still, and I'm sure my videos would still be getting probably just the same amount of traction and viewership. You know, the camera's more for me. I like having a good camera, and it's, you know, I make videos, I want a nice camera. But if you don't have one and you don't have money, it's totally fine. Totally fine. Like I said, it's more for me. I probably have the same results with my cell phone. Okay, so thinking of video ideas. Sometimes I'll get a video idea where I'm like, I can't do that. That's too much. Or like, oh, like I'd be too shy to do that. Or that's too much for me. Or what if I do all that and it doesn't work? It's like I put all that effort into it. I think those are the type of videos you have to make. I think those are the ones you have to make. If it's like, seems like it's something above and beyond and extra, then that's sort of the ones you got to make, you know? When I was looking at DMT trip reports online before I made my first ones, I noticed a lot of them were pretty low effort, to be honest. It was just like someone in front of a camera and just talking, telling their trip report, maybe some cuts, and then it would end, and that would be it. None of them gave me a sense that, oh, this is a channel that's making a lot of videos. A lot of them gave me the sense that, oh, someone just putting something up online to show people. They're not trying to build a channel. You have to give people the sense that you're building a channel. A lot of videos I see don't give me that sense. They won't have like an intro thing. They won't refer to the channel at all, or like it'll just be low effort basically. There'll be no channel aesthetic like I talked about. The thumbnail will not be custom. It'll just be the YouTube automatically selected one. That's a huge thing. Never do that. Always make a thumbnail. And just yeah, some of these channels are trying to in fact build a channel, and you don't get that impression. So you got to give them that impression that, yeah, hey, I'm a channel
and I'm here to stay.
Okay, this goes back to camera presence and stuff. Just, I don't know, there's different approaches, I guess, to each their own, but personally I think, like, don't try to act like a YouTuber. You know, like, Yo, what's up guys? This is your boy whatever. Don't forget to smash that like and hit the subscribe button and let's get it on. And then they'll like swipe the camera away and I have like some cheesy catch line like that. Like, I don't know. I know like a lot of the biggest channels are like that, so I don't know. I guess you can do that. Personally, I feel like, especially if you're a niche channel, then you should go the genuine route and just try to be yourself, rather than try to be like a YouTuber, act like a YouTuber. That's cheesy to me. I'm sorry. And then also like calling your audience like something, like a nickname. I don't know. That's cheesy to me too. So I don't know if maybe that's sort of a me thing or if it's good general advice, but I think my audience sort of appreciates that I'm not like I sort of go against the grain. I don't follow like the typical rules of what you're supposed to do. And you know, I think it's good to just be yourself if you can really put yourself out there and like be genuine. And I think for my type of videos, at least, that's important. If you're doing like tech review videos and like your audience relationship isn't as important, it's just about getting them the information that they want. So it'd be totally different depending on what type of channel you're doing. Okay, here's another thing. If you're trying to make a video work, a type of video, and it's not working, and maybe you're doing it for months and it's not getting views, it's not taking off, either drastically change the way you're doing it, put more work into it, or pivot and do something else. Like I said at the beginning, I tried all sorts of types of videos before I tried to do a psychedelic video, and then that was the one that took off, and then that's what I leaned into, with psychedelic content, and then the views continued like that. So just keep trying different things, and if you tried a whole bunch of things and you're not getting any views, then try something that you aren't familiar with, like I said, and like make it a journey and like learn with your audience. Like I just started an ASMR channel. I have no idea how that's gonna work, but the video is gonna be up soon, the first video, and I had a lot of hiccups the first video, but you know, I got the video done. Well, it's almost done, and I think it came out pretty interesting. We'll see. But I did it weird. That's what I was saying earlier. If you're going to do something more niche like ASMR, do it weird. Do something weird. Unless you're just really good looking, then you don't have to put in much effort at all for anything. No, I'm just kidding. I want to make that clear. But that's a great thing, actually. If you're shy, introverted, awkward, if you know you're not the greatest looking person in the world, YouTube's great for that. Yeah, I mean, obviously all that stuff helps, but I feel like most YouTube creators are introverted. So I'm a really shy person. Like before I started streaming, I thought it would be impossible for me to stream, and it sucked because deep down I knew I always wanted to do that really bad. And now that I am, I'm so happy I decided to start. So if you're not on camera in your videos, some type of videos don't require you to be on camera, but I think it always helps if you can get on cam. If your videos are the type of videos where you could be on camera, it would make sense, then really consider it. Especially if there are other videos from other creators doing that same type of video and they're on camera, then they're automatically going to be more appealing than your channel. And I know some people are self-conscious, but just think like you're in public, you know, every day probably thousands of people look at you. Just take a look at some of the videos that are up there by some creators. Some creators are super brave to go up and put themselves out there, depending on, you know, what's wrong with them or whatever. So no one cares. Just, you'll get used to it. Trust me. If you're honest and you mean well and you're a nice person and all that, then you shouldn't get negative feedback. Like the only videos that get like more dislikes than likes, that's like hard to do. I think you have to be like purposely trying to be an asshole, or like your microphone's just so shit you just can't hear anything. But yeah, generally people are pretty good, the audience. And if you are trying to be genuine and nice and all that, and you are getting dislikes, and it's not a reflection of who you are. People, you know, they get weird with what they like and dislike, but just try something else, you know, don't let it get to you. That's the main thing. But my advice would be just to put out tons and tons of different types of things. Keep trying different things over and over and over. And at the very least, you'll be getting practice editing, video editing, camera presence, and all that stuff. Here's a huge thing, especially when your channel's starting out, is replying to comments. I haven't lately for my last few videos because it's like, I get so many now, it's like very overwhelming. But it was very easy to do when the channel started. And I think that's very important. And I'm going to get back on doing that. I got to. But I think it's important to do that because it does a lot of things. First of all, I think the algorithm counts all your comments as extra comments. So it's like twice as many comments on your video. Sometimes it gets conversations going in the comments. So it's like more comments, replies and all that. It increases your viewer engagement score, I believe. And it's better for the video. The algorithm will like the video more if it has more comments, and also you engage with every viewer that comments, so they'll be like, oh, they actually replied, cool. They might be more likely to subscribe or whatever, or comment again in the future. So it's only good. It can only be a good thing. Sometimes I see like a video with like 7 or 8 comments on it, channel's just starting out, trying to grow, and they'll reply to like 1 or 2. Like, come on, there's only 7 or 8 comments there. You gotta reply to all those for sure. For sure do that. I don't know why people don't do that. I don't like any of my viewers to feel left out. I hate, like, okay, I went onto a skateboard video game live stream once. There wasn't that many people. We were talking, and then like I asked the guy a question, and he just straight up ignored me. And there wasn't that many viewers, and I knew he saw the question. I forget how, but I knew. And it just makes you feel left out. It's just like, pff, whatever. I was like, screw this channel then. Like, foster a very friendly, welcoming, talkative, open environment. And the viewers will like pick up on that, and it'll attract people that are like that. And yeah, every single viewer is important. Okay, if you've done all this and your channel is growing, and that's great, but then maybe your channel will dip a little bit. Like, you'll be getting a certain amount of subs a day, and then it'll drop off suddenly, sometimes drastically. Don't worry. The algorithm seems to favor a video for a certain amount of time, and then sooner or later it will drop off eventually, or it might go up, but it never stays the same. So if you have only one video that the algorithm is loving at the moment, and that drops off, suddenly your subscriptions can drop off, and it's like, oh no, it's the end of the world. But then if you just keep doing what you're doing that got you those views in the first place, it'll pick you up again. You know, the algorithm, it will favor you, and then sometimes it won't favor you as much, and it can be scary when those first dips happen, but you get used to it, and then over time you realize that, hey, I know how to make videos that the algorithm likes. Like, I'm confident I can do that now. I'm confident I can make videos that are gonna get traction now, and that's a really great place to get to have that confidence. Yeah, it's good. And just make sure you care. Like, don't be making videos if you don't feel passionate about what you're making, or you don't feel like making it, feels like a chore, then, you know, consider switching it up, or holding off, or doing something to reinvigorate your passion or whatever, because people can tell when you don't care. Okay, so a few things that I really need to work on, but I know are important, is consistency. Like, uploading regularly. Even a schedule would be ideal. I'm really bad at following schedules, so it's been hard for me to do that, especially the type of content I do. It's hard to like do a mushroom trip like every like however many days, you know. So but I could be better for sure. I will get better at that. That's my like main sort of goal I'm working towards, is to get more organized, and I'm confident I can do that. Organization is a very good skill if you have it for streaming. I wish I had it. Just even like your files on your computer, and keeping everything organized on your computer, or like your equipment and stuff organized, or just your channel organized, your videos and your tags and all that, and your end screens, and having all that organized would be nice, I imagine. I'm not very organized, so something I got to work on as well. And then another thing I got to work on is don't bite off more than you can chew. I've done this several times already, where I've promised stuff at a certain time that wasn't close to being done by the time that date came. And it's never like in my mind like, oh, it's going to cut it close. In my mind, I'm always like, yeah, I'll be able to do that. But you got to learn like to hold off. And if you're doing a type of video you've never done before, expect the unexpected, expect delays, and expect editing problems and all that. So it's almost better just to not even promise anything until it's like done pretty much. I've done this so many times. And I hate when I do that. So I've been learning not to announce things before, like prematurely, basically. And this is advice specifically for music channels. Music is really hard to grow with on YouTube. If you have no audience at the beginning, especially, like it's very hard. People don't listen to original music from small channels. They do, but there's not many people that do, sadly. And so it's very hard to grow just with posting like original music, even if it's really good. So my advice for that would be do another type of video too, like maybe like an album review series or lessons or something like that, or like videos about mixing or something else that you can do, and then maybe upload like a original song once a week, and then do a couple like other videos just to build an audience. And then once you have an audience, they'll be more willing to listen to your music. But just going pure music, it's very hard to do. I mean, it's done though. Some people can do it. Some people can contradict everything I said in this video and find success. That's what I mean by there's so many paths to success in YouTube. A whole bunch of different ways to do it. This has been sort of my overall strategy. I hope there's some tips in there that you find useful and help you out on your YouTube journey. Just don't give up, or maybe give up and try a different topic, pivot, but all in all, it's for the fun, and it's not feasible to expect anything on YouTube. And I feel incredibly lucky. I feel like my topic I chose, I'm in a very good position to do these type of videos. A lot of people might not have friends and family that know about their lifestyle, or a lot of people might just care more about their public image, or I'm willing to do these videos. And then also DMT and psychedelics are very popular right now. And then also there's tags. I want to talk about tags very quickly. Use all your tags. There's like a limit, a character limit. I max it out on every video. 80% of them are the same tags on every video, and then I'll put like some custom tags for every video. Also, I locate tag every video I do from Vancouver. I live in White Rock, but Vancouver people know more, and I feel like this helps. You might be asking how. Well, if there are people in Vancouver that see my videos, they're like, oh, this guy's from Vancouver. That's cool. And then like I get a lot of people messaging me like, oh, you're from Vancouver. And it just, I think it opens up doors and stuff and opportunities, maybe collaboration opportunities. Maybe you made a really good video that caught someone's eye that's nearby and has like a job for you or something, I don't see how it can hurt. So I think you should set location tags for your videos. As far as money goes, I wouldn't expect any money the first year. That's what my plan was, is not to I've never asked for a single donation. I put links up. I haven't made any premium content yet, although I told them like almost a year ago, my audience, you guys, I told them that I do plan on making premium content one day, although I will always have free content on YouTube. I told them my plan basically, so no one's caught off guard. But yeah, the first year I decided is just learning, and any money I make from ads is total bonus, and any donations I get is a total bonus, which, I mean, oh my god. You guys have been so freaking nice to me. Just so I'm speechless basically when I think about that. I'm tremendously lucky to have the viewer base I have. If you put your mind to it, and there might be stuff here that applies to you, stuff that doesn't, you know what's best for you, and you know basically how to sell yourself better than I do. So it's different for everyone. It takes a lot of time. It's very rewarding. If you feel like you were meant to do this, like if you really feel like you were meant to do it, like I've worked lots of jobs in my 20s, and I've always been miserable anytime I wasn't doing something creative. I'm also 32 years old. I'm running out of time. I don't have like a degree. I can't be like wasting time doing this. So like I really needed this to work. And so I think that's why it worked, because I put in the amount of effort I realistically thought it would take to get some traction. And that's it. There are some people that will just, be naturally great at YouTube, and they'll make some videos that just take off and they'll be huge right away. 99% of channels aren't like that, 0.999. So don't expect that. And that's it. Do something different. Do something unique. Be creative. Do something weird. Do something no one's ever done before. Step outside of your comfort zone and put a lot of work into it. Just think differently. Think outside the box. Just make it work. You gotta make it work. Figure it out. You just gotta do it. Just do it. Just fucking do it. All right. I love you guys so much. I hope you got something out of this if you're trying to grow a YouTube channel. Cheers. I love you all. Peace out. Hope my second year goes as good as my first. And good night.
Thank you for watching Junk Bongs Trader. Check out these videos to my left and subscribe below for similar content. Have a lovely day.